Hello and welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be all about the handful of demos that I got to try out this weekend during Steam Next Fest. So I love when Steam Next Fest rolls around because there's so many different games that I can try out, and a lot of them are ones that I will see and go, oh my god, I really want to try that, and then I just add it to a list, and then typically I go on the Saturday that it's running and just go through all of them and just experience which ones, and then I can just add them to my wish list or decide I don't really want this one. But I think it's a great opportunity to get some games that you might not have given a shot, like an actual chance to win you over. So today's video is going to be focusing on the 10 top games that I was able to try and think that other people might want to check them out, and plus one honorable mention. So today's honorable mention is Caravan Sandwich, and the reason that it is an honorable mention is because I actually got stuck pretty early on in the demo, and literally no matter what I did, I could not figure out how to progress. So I wasn't able to really play a whole lot, so I can't really say whether or not people would enjoy it, but I did really like the art style. I really liked how the art style made the desert environment really warm and welcoming, because a lot of desert environments that I've seen have been quite dry and kind of like dead. It wasn't very welcoming or cozy feeling. The handling and movement, especially when you get into the van, it took a bit to get used to, but after a few minutes of it, it became a lot easier, and I do really like that no matter where you're at on the map, you can just click a button and go straight into the car. I think that that can be really good, especially if traversal is a huge thing. But yeah, like I said, I did get stuck pretty early on, so I don't know a whole lot about the game, but it did look pretty good, and I saw a lot of other people recommending it, so I do think this might be a good one for you to check out and see if you do enjoy it. So 10th place on my list is Isles of Swaps, and so I tried this one out because it looked like something similar to like Pokemon's TCG, to where you have monsters and you fight other people's monster cards. Now the unique part about this game that makes it different from Pokemon is you are essentially playing with up to 3 monster cards on the field, and the cards that you have in your deck are actually energy or attack moves. So that did add a nice spin on it that made it not like a copy of Pokemon. The rules were sometimes a bit confusing to follow, especially when I tried to use a card and it popped up use energy, but I had given a bunch of energy, so it had manually supply energy added, like checkmarked, so I just unchecked that and it just did it for me. But the cool thing about this one is you can give up to 3 cards to your monster per turn. And so that was kind of cool. You can kind of strategize a bit, and your deck gets reshuffled each turn. It's useful to figure out, okay, here I'm going to load up on energy on this one or something like that. I do think that this can be fun for someone. I think I will stick to the regular TCGs. I do kind of dabble in several, so I probably won't be adding this one to my list, but I do think it would be cool if you want something that scratches that TCG itch and you might have only played like Pokemon or maybe Yu-Gi-Oh and you want something similar. I think this will be easy enough to get into and not too terribly confusing. So 9th place, we have a game called Preserve. So for this game, you're actually kind of putting environments on tiles, and you're trying to get a high score, and you can get a better score by connecting the similar environments, and when you get so many, you can actually start putting animals into those environments. It's a very simple style game. The rules are very basic, very easy to follow, but I think it can be fun. It was quite relaxing when I gave it a try. It didn't really hold my attention for too terribly long, but I do think it could be very fun for some people. Now 8th place was actually a game that I've been looking at for a while, so I did really enjoy that I could test it out. It was actually the first one that I gave a try in Next Fest, and that is called Tiny Glade. It's basically you have your own little land plot and you can do whatever you want with it. You can make trails, you can put flowers in it, you can build towers and put walls everywhere. And I was really interested in it, but I was really sad to come out of the demo not super engaged with it. The demo locks a lot of things out, obviously, like a lot do, so you couldn't really experience a lot of the features. But I do think that it could be used for some really interesting things. Like when I was making a path, I thought that this could be really cool for like if you do something like similar to D&D where you do kind of not landscaping but like trying to help your team picture an environment. I think that that could be really cool and like an interesting way to use this. I do think it could be really relaxing for some people. I did like just throwing walls everywhere and just having flowers be everywhere. But overall, I don't think I will get this when it's available. I think it already is available actually. But yeah, I do like that I was able to play it because I don't think that this is quite the game for me. But I do think that this can appeal to a lot of people. So 7th place is Dungeon of 𝕞𝕠𝕣𝕖. And I gave this one a try because the art style looked really cool and that was really it. So I get into it and I was actually pretty lost in the beginning. Someone talks to you about getting magical powers and I couldn't find it for the longest time, but once you do and you get into the like puzzle solving mechanics, it gets quite fun. So you're able to do a dungeon run when you're in the demo, and that's what I did. And so I got my powers and quickly got distracted by the traversal because you can manifest a like hoverboard, snowboard type thing, and that's a huge part of the traversal. And that is probably my favorite part, is just being able to like snowboard down these mountains. The combat is fun. It's really like your basic fighting. You have a weapon with a basic attack, a heavy attack. You have 2 special attacks, one to where you spin around a lot, and one to where you jump and slam your greatsword into the ground. Very simple. I really think the traversal on the snowboard and the puzzles that are kind of interwoven in these dungeons is where the game shines. I really loved that part. There's different things. In addition to your magic hoverboard, you get this kind of like magic ray that you can attack with, and that helps solve a majority of your puzzles. And the puzzles actually make you think. I got stuck on a few of them and I almost gave up, but I told myself I can't give up. I have to finish at least this dungeon of the demo. So I finished the dungeon and then kind of wandered around the towns and didn't do much else with it. But I do think that this can be a really fun game for people if you like a lot of like puzzle focused stuff. That's what it seems like a lot of the dungeons are going to be in this game, and I do think it could be a really interesting game if you give it a shot. So 6th place is a game that I wanted to try out because I saw it in, I believe, like a indie direct or something in that realm, and it's called Go-Go Town. So this one, it gives me really chill like Animal Crossing type town simulator vibes. You come into this town and you get to take like complete control of it and help build it up. You can put shops anywhere. You can decide what types of shop. You can decide what they sell. You decide which villagers go and like help out with them. You can assign villagers to help cut down trees, mine rocks, like do a bunch of stuff. It seems like you have complete control. I spent a decent amount of time in this one and I really liked it. I think the controls are all nice. There's so many little toys and stuff scattered around the world that you can just hop on and just zoom around the town. I spent a lot of time in a little go-kart just going in circles around the town square. And the villagers I've found will ask you for like requests and type stuff. Like a lot of them would be like, hey, can you build apartments? And just like really simple things that will kind of help progress you building up this town. I think I might check this game out more myself. I do think it's really nice if you want something like Animal Crossing and that same town builder vibe. I think it's more like that than something, say, The Sims, because you don't have full control over the buildings, but you can like place them, you can move them after they've been placed, you can delete them if you want, you help a bunch of villagers. So I think that this can appeal to a lot of people. So 5th place is a game called Waltz and Jam, and it is one of those, I guess it's supposed to be a Zelda like inspired game, to where you play as a cute little ghost boy and you are trying to get stamps from different places, and that's how you like progress your way through. You are armed with, eventually you will find a toy sword, and you find it in the actual like toy box, and then you get it and you can equip it. And that, I believe, is how you're going to find all of your weapons that you will use. I, in the demo, found 2 of them, and it's just a very cute, relaxing type game. You're a ghost boy, you have this cute cat Jam that you can use to like help climb up certain things. It's a very cute style. It seems similar to, I've played a bit of Tunic, so if you liked the like feeling of that game, this game is quite similar. I personally really love these style of games. I think they're amazing. They're just like really chill for me. So I definitely think if you want something in that style with that feeling, this is definitely a game to try out. It's very cool. A lot of the creatures and stuff, from the enemies to the friends, have really cool designs, really funny, and a lot of like puzzles and stuff. I just think that this game can like be really fun. I think a lot of people would enjoy it if they gave it a chance. So 4th place goes to a game that I thought was going to be like a Pokemon game, but I don't really think you can call it a Pokemon clone. So it's called 𝕽𝕚𝕟𝕕 Mythical Journey, and it is an RPG, and it does have a monster catching mechanic. You will actually catch these, I believe they're the Younglings that you will be catching, but you catch them with these kind of talismans, and you can have up to 7 in your party, and you can actually just, if you're traversing the world, just throw these talismans at these creatures, and you can catch them that way. Very like Arceus mechanic with just throwing the ball at them type deal. That was very cool. I love that you can do that. When you fight, that is the main differentiation between the 2 types of games. Instead of a turn-based mechanic like a lot of monster catching games go with, these have not necessarily a grid. You can place them freely in this area, but you will put them across from the opponents on each side, and they will almost like auto chess run at each other and just attack, and you have no control of your creature's attacks, but there are different talismans that you will have that can change what happens in battle. There's some talismans you can use to heal your creatures during a fight. You can actually do damage to the opponent's creatures during a fight, and there's different like types, like one burns, one like poisons. Like, it seems very in-depth. I didn't go too far into it. I only played about 30 minutes to 40 minutes because I do think I'm going to get this one, so I didn't want to play too much. But it seems from the amount that I got through, there'll be a bunch of different kind of trials you will go through. One set is like going through schools. I beat the first school, and it's kind of, I guess, like the equivalent to like a gym. But there seem to be 2 other types of like trials that you'll go through, and there's like, of course, an overarching story, and it seems like it would be really fun. I do think I am going to get this one. So if you want a monster catching game but you don't want to deal with more turn-based battles, I think this one would be very fun, especially if you like games kind of like that incorporate auto chess, like maybe TFT. So 3rd place, I feel like I'm cheating because it's Machikoro with everyone. So the reason I feel like I'm cheating with this one is because Machikoro is a physical board game that I've played with my friends numerous times, and we all love it. But I needed to know when I saw that this was in the demos if it played the same as the actual board game, because we have some friends that aren't always in the same area, and it would be great if we could incorporate them into our game nights. And this, with pleasure, I can announce that plays exactly like the board game. I love it so much. You basically are going against 3 other players, and you are trying to build 4 different landmarks, and you earn money to buy those landmarks by rolling a die and hopefully landing on a number corresponding to a card that will get you money. So these cards can have numbers that correspond to, if anyone rolls, say, a 1, you'll get 1 coin because you have a wheat field. Some will be, okay, if you have a 3 on your die, you roll it, you get a 3, and it's your turn, you have a bakery, so you get 2 coins. Stuff like that. There's also ones that you can take, like if you take a cafe card and someone rolls the number for your cafe, they owe you money on their turn. So it's a lot of strategy. You can take many different routes for picking it, and it's just like a fun board game. I view this as a less friendship ending version of Monopoly. But if you have played Machikoro, the board game, Machikoro with everyone plays the exact same. It does all of like the multiplication or like coin stuff for you. It's super simple. I love the UI. And there's also 2 different modes with it, Machikoro and Machikoro 2. I haven't played Machikoro 2, I only tried the first one because I wanted to see if it was similar to the game. But I think that this is very well worth it if you like board games and you don't have friends maybe in your town like together, but you have online friends. This is perfect for game night. Highly recommend it. Second place goes to a game that I believe I saw one of the YouTubers that I watch give sneak peeks of it because they saw it at PAX, and that is Grapple Dogs. So this demo gives you 4 different levels, and I did 2 of them because this is another one that I will probably be buying, so I didn't want to play all of the demo. And I played as 2 different characters, the main dog and then a secondary supporting character dog. I'm not quite sure, but there seems to be an overarching story from the 2 levels that I played, and it's a simple platformer. I believe there are tangerines that you will go and collect instead of any type of coin, and you have different ways of killing enemies. The first main dog, you jump on their heads, but the female dog that you play, she actually kills them by shooting a like futuristic gun at them. You can't jump on their heads with her. So I'm assuming all of the different characters have different mechanics like that, but one mechanic that stays the same is the grappling hook. Like the name suggests, Grapple Dogs has you jumping through and attaching to different, maybe like obstacles, like stuff will be hanging from the ceiling, you swing on them, there'll be blocks that you can jump to. It's really fun, it's a great platformer. I will probably be getting this because it just looks really fun, and I am a huge fan of platformers. It is my favorite genre. So if you are also a fan of platformers, I would definitely suggest checking out Grapple Dogs. So first place is a game called 𝕞𝕠𝕣𝕖. Try saying that, I dare you. So this is one that I had not seen before. I found it during Next Fest and just thought it was really cute, really simple. So it is a dungeon crawler deck builder type of game. And you do have a deck, but instead of having cards as your deck, you will actually have your items from your deck input into a claw machine. So each round you will try and drop 2 claws in to get stuff like shields for upping your protection, and also stuff like daggers and hatchets and stuff to attack your enemies with. So there will be corresponding points to each item, and you will just go through until either you have no more health or your enemies have no more health and proceed from there. This is a very, very chill game. I absolutely loved it. The art style was great. The music was great. I thought the designs for everyone was great. You have different characters that you can pick from. And I was only able to make it to the 2nd level. No matter how many times I tried it, I'm just not that great at this yet. But it seems so fun. It seems so creative. I highly recommend like anyone who likes kind of dungeon crawlers to try out this different style. And yeah, that is basically it. That is my experience with Steam Next Fest. If you have any experience with some of these demos, please drop them in the comments below. I would love to get to try a few more before it's over. Now, if you tried any of these games out based on my recommendations, please let me know what you thought in the comments below. But without further ado, that will be it from me, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!